also playing on October 20th. They'll be in New York to take on the Knicks. LeBron and the Sixers will get to see the Knicks raise their championship banner in Madison Square Garden. The full NBA schedule will be released on Thursday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. August 5, 2026. Dear LA City Council President Marquise Harris Dawson, on behalf of a coalition of businesses and residents that constitute the Crenshaw Corridor community, we write to request that a concrete timeline and resources for fully completing Destination Crenshaw within a year be developed and announced. A year is the outside time it should take, and we hope and expect that it can be finished considerably sooner. We also request the immediate establishment of a business interruption relief fund for the merchants, entrepreneurs, churches, and property owners who have borne the disproportionate economic burden of the prolonged delays associated with the Destination Crenshaw project, and a resident relief fund for the residents of the corridor who have been most adversely affected by the prolonged construction and delays associated with this unfinished development. Destination Crenshaw was presented to this community as a transformational investment in Black culture, Black commerce, and the future of South Los Angeles. It has now been 6 years since the project broke ground and over 2 years since the promised completion date. Construction has stalled with no apparent end date in sight. The Crenshaw Corridor community embraced the vision of Destination Crenshaw, but the obstruction from the delayed construction has caused prolonged health and safety hazards, uncertainty, reduced customer access, declining revenues, disruptions, and mounting financial hardship. A broad spectrum of the community expressed their frustration over these delays and the impact they have had on the community at a standing room only July 30th town hall at Bethesda Temple Church, widely covered by the media including ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. The burden of these unexplained delays should not rest on the shoulders of the Crenshaw Corridor community, which acted in good faith and supported this historic project. If the city fails to provide a complete and substantive response to this correspondence within 30 days of the date of this letter, the Crenshaw Corridor community reserves its right to pursue all of its rights and remedies. Sincerely, the Crenshaw Corridor community. To read the complete letter detailing all of our demands, go to our website at kbla1580.com. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money P. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in to First Things First with the Queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning, and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First, and my very first thing every day is prayer, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. It's a hump day, as y'all like to call it, and yeah, we got a lot to talk about. As per usual, my first thing every single day is always prayer, but then we get into it around here. We got names for our days. Today is Wealth Building Wednesday. We say that because we feature a business or an opportunity for businesses. We do that at the top of our second hour every day. And if you would like to be said featured business, all you got to do is email me, diprimaradio@gmail.com. Diprima Radio, that's DIPRIMA radio.com. Of course, you know that if you're on my Instagram stream. I decided to go live this morning. But we also stream on YouTube at KBLA 1580. We stream on Facebook. And you can find us everywhere on the socials if you got something to say about something or other on the station, off the station, something you'd like us to cover. We are here for you. Don't forget the app. It's KBLA 1580 on the App Store. And it is KBLA 1580 on the Google Play Store, and it is free everywhere. Okay. Plus, if you missed a show, and we've had some great ones lately, you can find them wherever podcasts are found, and they live on YouTube as well. So I'm in a great mood today. I'm in a glory hallelujah type of vibe today because, well, I came to work and the fence was moved over somewhat. We have got some breathing room. We got some parking spaces back. We got some results now. You know, I'm very, 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 very thankful to the mayor of Los Angeles and the owner of this radio station, and all the folks that have been, telling their stories. And there, of course, we still need the project, the Destination Crenshaw / Procrastination Crenshaw project. We still need that finished. But I will tell you, yesterday afternoon, the mayor of Los Angeles, Mayor Karen Bass, came out here in person with her staff, a bunch of her staffers, and some folks from the Department of Transportation and other city officials, and they moved. I mean, she didn't literally pick it up, but she got it done. She got the parking lot for the veterinarian accessible now, and, the station's door accessible now, and they moved barricades that were blocking Doolin's and the Bethesda Church and some of the other businesses and residences that have been suffering along Crenshaw. And as I said, and I've said this, I've done my best to be transparent here, is that I am friends with Council Member Marquise Harris Dawson. We haven't talked in a long time, but I try to give people grace to finish their project. But after 5 years, 6 since they broke ground, 5 years since the street's been all blocked off, it is a great day to come to work and be able to not go through an obstacle course to get to the radio station, to be able to just walk up to the back door or the front door and walk right in, to have places to park, to not have to do a parkour to work every day. So big shout out, big thank you to Mayor Karen Bass. I said, it wasn't really her job. I understand it's her city. This is a private project that was supposed to be done with private money. It's not done, clearly. And yet she did step up, and we're grateful for it. As, the owner of this radio station and others said, we would love her help. So she's taken the first step. Of course, we're still looking for a plan to get it completed within a year or less. We're still looking for a plan to compensate those businesses and residents who have suffered with this long, long drawn-out process. But for me, it's a personal victory. And as the person that comes here first thing in the morning, that would be me and Miles. Miles typically gets here a little bit before I do, but we're navigating, we've been navigating a lot, construction, blockades, and possums and other critters, and whoever happens to be on the street on any given morning, which is not always, fun for a woman trying to get to work. So I appreciate the mayor. I appreciate the efforts of the coalition of folks on the Crenshaw Quarter, led by the owner of this radio station. And I thank you today for making my life, and I think the lives of a lot of folks along the quarter, a little easier. Is it done? No. We still need the council member for the 8th District and the construction company and the organization that works with them to let us know how this is going to get finished, when this is going to get finished, and hopefully get it done quickly. But for me, it's a great Wednesday because something, I'm starting to see, we're seeing movement is what I can say. We're seeing movement. I'm sure Dr. John Hardy is a great day for him. He's been running his veterinary business for 5 years without his parking lot, which is terrible. And now he has it back. So if you're a customer, a patient, well, if you're a patient, you're probably not watching because he only has animals. But if you're a customer of Dr. Hardy, it's a great day for you too. That's where I took my beloved dog, my puppy Mojo, for many years. Dr. Hardy's a great veterinarian, and we didn't love the fact that we could no longer park there. So very, very happy for Dr. Hardy. Great news for him. That's a family business. They've been there, at least 26 years, because they've been there since I moved over to this side of town. And I think they've been there before that. And it's a multi-generational, the dad and the 3 sons are all veterinarians. So if you're looking for a spot, they certainly would love to have your business. Now that they have their parking lot back, I'm sure they would have loved to have your business anytime. Anyway, we are broadcasting from the Crenshaw Corridor, from Leimert Park, a.k.a. Africa Town, as we do every day. We are the only black owned and operated station west of the Mississippi. And you're invited in every hour at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Hour 1, we got time. We're celebrating the spirit of rebellion here in Los Angeles. It is the anniversary this week of the Watts Uprising back in 1965. We've got our Wealth Building Wednesday. We'll have a spotlight on a business that a black-owned, a BIPOC-owned, women-owned, or socially innovative business. And in hour 3, we'll hear from Maury Taheripour, who is an author, but also, her book is called Bring Yourself, How to Negotiate Fearlessly. And she is a faculty member at the Wharton School of Business. She is a highly sought-after speaker, and this is going to be an incredible conversation. So I'm happy to see you here, happy to be with you this morning. And look, the mic is yours, 800-920-1580. If you're shy or terrified, as I understand most Americans are, to speak in public, you can always tap in on YouTube where the conversation happens in the comments section. So all my keyboard warriors and people trying to be quiet because they're at work, meet me in the chat room, youtube.com, KBLA 1580. So much going on in our city, county, and around the world, and we will unpack that when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
Are
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
With Civic Tax Relief, they were able to save me upwards of $80,000 that I would have had to pay had I not reached out to them.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies.
I owe the IRS $37,000.
They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS. By the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-285-3500, 800-285-3500. Don't wait, call now, 800-285-3500, 800-285-3500.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. And ask your questions directly, in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, we are back to me. We're back to you. And you're right. The YouTube chat is talking about the election season is here. Yes, there was a primary on yesterday. And yes, we are actually kicking off, as I thought, early this campaign season. That is because, well, it's just some of these races are tight. Mayor Karen Bass, who was here, as I mentioned, walking the Crenshaw corridor and behind the station, helping to get some momentum going around, the business, the access, the parking, the flow of traffic for these businesses here, has got her campaign kickoff on Saturday. It's this week. And, many times folks would wait until Labor Day or after Labor Day, but it seems that no one is taking any chances. The mayor's campaign kickoff is going to be at her headquarters on Rodeo and La Brea, and it's going to be all day Saturday, so folks will be out volunteering, and she'll be there speaking and greeting her supporters. So to me, that is that's, okay, definitely a sign that we are all the way into the season for sure. And we're going to see, I think we're going to see the ads ramping up, now. Maybe 3 weeks ahead of when they typically would ramp up. And so it's on. Time to pay attention. And I think here in Los Angeles, there is going to be some really, aside from the mayor's race, which will be spirited, because you have two Democrats, two women of color, who are going to be going toe to toe, and it's going to be a hard fought race. I do think it will be a hard fought race. Nothing is to be taken for granted. And then you've got, although it seems like Javier Becerra running for governor against Steve Hilton should have a cakewalk, I know that Becerra will not take this for granted because MAGA's got deep pockets. And so, you're looking at Elon Musk money, you're looking at Peter Thiel money, you're looking at the Broligarchs who own papers, putting their thumb on the scale as far as their influence in the media. So I know, and I also know that Javier Becerra, Secretary Becerra, is experienced enough not to take anything for granted. So he's gonna come out blazing, and he's going to run hard, even though he may not have to, because this is a deeply blue state, even though we have a very red center in, the middle of the state, which is actually geographically bigger, but because there's so many fewer people there, it adds up blue, because our coastal cities is where most of the folks live. That's where a lot of the black people are, and many the more progressive Chicano Latino folks. So we are still a blue state, even though we've got a red center. But I know that the secretary will run hard, even though it's likely, just given California's history, that he will probably win, and probably win soundly. Also, Steve Hilton is a media-trained Fox News host. He's quite smooth on the mic. He was on this station, and he's smooth. He knows what he's doing. And actually, that's kind of become the formula, right, for this new administration. Lots of Fox News hosts. He may be smoother than some of the other ones that the resident has appointed, because he's got that English accent, which makes him seem less scary for some reason. So that's going on. And then, there's all of these ballot measures, right, which we don't like to track, but we are going to have to, and I will help you. Haven't done all of the homework yet. I do think it's quite telling. And Robert Reich was Instagramming about this, posting on Instagram about this, that Sergey Brin, who's the co-founder of Google, he's one of the richest men in the whole wide world, is going to spend $100 million out of his own personal piggy bank to try to defeat the billionaire tax in California, which is very, very telling, because we're talking about a tax. It's a one-time tax. It's not going to happen every time. It's a one-time tax, 5% on assets of California billionaires. This is meant to raise money because the Trump administration cut Medi-Cal and Medicare. So that means that there's going to be millions of Californians that don't have health care. And we already have a lot of those. We got folks on the streets, unhoused, that don't have health care, and they are literally dying. And so the state of California is saying, ante up just one time, billionaires, and we can fill in the gap of the Trump presidency health care cuts, because they have to spend money on bombs, so they don't have money to keep the older Americans and the indigent, the people with no resources, with health care. Too busy paying for other people's bombs. So, as a result, this tax, it's a one-time 5% tax, which is on the ballot in November, is asking the billionaires to step up. This is only billionaires, mind you. It's not millionaires. We're talking about the very rich people, the broligarchy, if you will. Well, Sergey Brin is willing to pay $102 billion to keep himself from paying $14 billion. How does that? The math isn't mathing. So there's something nefarious. I don't know if it's that the principle of the thing, they don't want to help low resource and elders pay for their health care? I wish he would come on the show. I would love to talk to him about how it makes sense to pay $102 million to stop yourself from paying $14 million in taxes one time. He's created this group called Building a Better California, and they're trying to, and that organization is funding 2 other ballot measures that are meant to block the billionaire tax. And so to me, and maybe there's something, I'm not a billionaire, I'm not even a millionaire. So maybe there's something that I don't get. Maybe there's something that I don't understand here. But to me, it seems evil to spend more money than it would cost you to prevent you from helping the poor, the working class, the elderly. I mean, to me, it's baffling. They're bankrolling Prop 41 and 42, so that's right now no and no. 41 and 42, easy, no and no. They say that, you know, this is building a better California, and this is what Republicans do so well. They name something that's the opposite of what it really is, you know. The Loving Women Act, you know, takes away your right to vote if you're a woman. Like, that's kind of how they roll. So the Building a Better California means building a California where we don't have to pay for health care for the poor and the elderly, where the elderly and the poor get to run on the street with colostomy bags, because that's how we build a better California. And it's also interesting, since these billionaires claim that they're all moving to Texas and Florida where they don't have to pay taxes. So why are they so keen to influence California policy? It's because they still have homes here. Most of them. I mean, maybe some of them. Maybe Elon Musk really left, even though he still has businesses here, LOL. But most of them, maybe they have a compound in Florida. Maybe they bought citizenship in Portugal or New Zealand. But they still got a house in Cali, and they want to be here because Cali's great. And I don't care what the politicians say on election season. Cali is great. LA is wonderful. It's an amazing place to live. There's always something to do. The weather is great. And so they still want to live here. They just want to bash it, because that's what MAGA likes to do. Even the resident of the White House, he likes to talk smack about LA and California, but then he comes here with his little tin cup going, more please, looking for money from those oligarchs, billionaires, and movie stars, the MAGA kind, of which there are some. We have diversity of equity, inclusion. We have diversity of opinion among the Hollywood, so this Hollywood elite. But it is true, as SEU Vice President Deborah Carthan said, it's the same thing that Bernie Sanders said. They rather spend $100 million than help pay to make this place as great as it is, to make the roads in California smooth, to make the community thrive, to support the human resources that they depend on to stay as rich as they are. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. South Carolina's Joint Base Charleston has been renamed Joint Base Lindsey Graham in honor of the late U.S. Senator. Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent shared a few words.
From today forward, these planes will have Joint Base Graham on their tail.
Leaders praised Graham's decades of public service during a dedication ceremony on Monday. Former NFL star and broadcaster Marcellus Wiley will not face criminal charges in a Florida domestic violence case. Prosecutors cited a lack of corroborating evidence, though Wiley's divorce and custody dispute with his estranged wife remains ongoing in California. And former President Barack Obama is launching a new Audible podcast called A Great Book with Barack Obama. The series will spotlight 6 books that helped shape his worldview, featuring works from celebrated authors including Toni Morrison and James Baldwin. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers had a dramatic win Tuesday night. They beat Kansas City 5-4 in 10 innings. Max Muncy delivered an RBI single in the 10th to score Shohei Ohtani from second base with the game-winning run. First consecutive wins for the Dodgers since July 30th. The Dodgers are 7-10 since they hung out with Trump at the White House on July 23rd. They're getting a little closer to playing 500 baseball after that controversial visit. South Carolina State is the only HBCU football team listed in the preseason Division I AA Top 25 rankings. South Carolina State, last year's HBCU national champion, is ranked number 24. The Bulldogs are predicted to win the MEAC title again this year. South Carolina State opens the season August 29th against Savannah State. Top 5 teams in the 1AA poll: Montana, Montana State, South Dakota State, Illinois State, and Tarleton State. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
My name is Greg Doolin, and I'm a second-generation restaurant owner. My family started with a little hamburger stand in 1975. I have been in the community as the owner of Doolin's on Crenshaw since 1992, and because I've been here so long, I know what the community wants, and I know what they wanted. And so I tried my best to build the most beautiful restaurant that I could, which is across the street, Doolin's on Crenshaw, a space where people can do all the things that we like to do. And it's very lonely, because we are the only business open at night, and I'm seeing my fellow restaurant owners go through all types of trouble. You know, you've probably all seen it in the news, and I'm having my challenges. And the way Destination Crenshaw impacts me, I'm on Crenshaw more than most people. I'm here at 5 in the morning, and I'm here at midnight. And I look down the street, and I see my neighbors parking their cars up on the sidewalk. When I'm at work, and I see my senior customers struggling to walk down to my restaurant from Victoria with canes and with walkers. That's what impacts me.
Making sure they stick to the truth. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
What's good, KBLA delegation? I am Miles Lowe, and I'm excited to be joining the weekend lineup right here on KBLA Talk 1580. Join me every Saturday at 12 noon for the Do Better Show, where we get into the world of tech, AI, the creator economy, navigating your mental health through it all, and have conversations with founders to find out how real people are making real money right now. It's not a course, not a subscription. Class is in session every weekend, live on the air. If you knew better, you do better, right? So let's make a better you. The Do Better Show, every Saturday, 12 noon, and replaying again at 7 p.m. right here on Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about.
As we go a little something like this.
Talkers Magazine has spoken. Out of every talk radio host in America, Tavis Smiley ranks number 14 on the Heavy 100 list. One of the top 15 most important voices in the nation, right here on KBLA Talk 1580. Unapologetically progressive, unapologetically powerful. Tune in weekdays on the 9s, 9 a.m. to noon or 9 p.m. to midnight. This is your station. This is your voice.
Let's get it on!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Don't let heartburn ruin your day. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. When that burning feeling comes on strong, stop, drop, and fizz your way to quick relief with Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief. Nothing works faster to help calm heartburn, so you can get back to the moments that matter most. Alka-Seltzer begins neutralizing acid in seconds. Try Alka-Seltzer for fast heartburn relief, because life doesn't stop, and neither should you.
Quick, Alka-Seltzer.
Use as directed.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Thank you for waking up with KBLA Talk 1580. We do appreciate you. Yeah, so it's the first day of school. Back to school, y'all. You ready? If you got a kid, if you are a kid, you probably shouldn't be. You should probably be getting ready right now, not listening to me. Or unless you can multitask, which I hope you can. It is back to school, and it's going to be wild. Why do I say that? Because the devices are going to be severely limited. There is a new digital policy in one of the nation's biggest school districts. The kindergarten development, kindergarten is as long as college now, right? You got pre-K, developmental K, kindergarten. Okay, that's 3 years. It's almost as long as college. If you go preschool, pre-K, developmental K, and kindergarten, that's like as long as college. But anyway, I digress. The point is the little kids are not going to be allowed to have phones anymore or devices. Not until first or second grade, I think it is. And then the older children are going to be severely curtailed. They're going to have to, not just their phones, they're not going to have them learning on computers and tablets the way that they have in the past. It's a very strict policy that the LAUSD is rolling out to restrict screen time. And let me tell you, I get it. I'm not against it. I know our children have to be digitally literate. I get it because I know that they're spending too much time on screens. I've been that mom that says if you're going to restrict their screen time for play, you also have to restrict their screen time at school. It's not fair to say you can work and toil on your computer, but when you want to go play a game, that's a no. Like, I feel like if you're going to restrict it, you have to restrict it everywhere. That is what LAUSD is doing, but I feel sorry for the teachers because it is going to be ugly. If you've ever taken a child's phone or tablet away, they're highly addictive. They're going to be dealing with a bunch of little kids that are jonesing and, addicts in withdrawal today. That's what the teachers are going to be dealing with. I think they should have yoga, probably some chamomile tea. They should have meditation instructors, maybe cry rooms for the teachers, because it's going to be rough on the teachers. So if you're a parent, or a grandparent, you might want to send the teacher some flowers, an apple, I don't know, some Xanax. No, don't do that. It's illegal. But I really feel like we're going to have to show our teachers some extra love. And whatever, hall monitors, do they still have those? The security on campus, because some kids are going to be having some fits. And you would too if your phone was suddenly taken away all day when you're used to having it. Or you suddenly couldn't play on your tablet or work on your computer or check the stock market or scroll on Instagram. Hopefully all of us are restricting a bit. I'm trying to. I spend way too much time on IG and TikTok. But I never thought I'd say that, Miles. But these things are highly addictive. If they're addictive to you, imagine how they are to a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old. It's like, wow, it's magic. It's amazing. So good luck. Yeah, Jerry says the parents should send the teachers preemptive apologies. Molly Bell says there's a time and a place for everything. I agree. And, I can see having 2 recesses, the go outside recess and the digital recess. I could see that. Like, I would be here for that. But this is what the LAUSD's policy is now. And I can see that, it makes sense. It could spread. We are one of the largest school districts in the country. So if this is successful, and I hope folks are expecting it to take a second, it's not going to be successful right away. In the beginning, it's going to be like a rehab center. It's once folks get used to it, if it's successful, this could spread, and I suspect that it will, because we've seen the judgments against Meta for impacting the mental health of people by deliberately addicting them, right? Using psychological and other tools. We've seen the data about teen suicide and the lawsuits being brought by parents of children who have been influenced by social media. Now we're seeing the same kind of conversations and legal actions around AI. So I think once again, California is probably leading the way in what could become a national movement. DJ Black says he's trying to cut down on his screen time as well. Yeah, at least be mindful of it. What I've noticed is I go on IG or something to post something or check something, and then I end up, boom, an hour's gone. And so I am using different techniques now, like put a post-it on my phone that reminds me what I went on there for, or put an alarm on my phone so that it'll ring after 10 minutes. That way, if I haven't completed my task, I still have to get off the device. Anyway, I think it's going to be a different kind of back to school day. So let's all show some love and grace. I don't know how I missed this, but I missed this. Council member Nithya Raman, who is running for mayor of the city, she is running against the incumbent Mayor Karen Bass, who she endorsed just a month before announcing her run. She already had her campaign kickoff. I didn't realize this. She kicked off her campaign June 11th, which was basically as soon as it was confirmed that she got through the primary, that she beat Spencer Pratt, and which, thank you for that, Nithya Raman, Councilmember Raman. So at least we don't have to deal with that. But yeah, she had her campaign kickoff June 11th. What I love about that is she's at least admitting that she never stopped campaigning, and I've always found it, I wish we could narrow our campaign seasons down shorter, because politicians are supposed to be governing and campaigning at the same time. And the longer and longer and longer we stretch out these campaign seasons, the harder it is for us to get stuff done. So Council member Raman had her mayoral campaign kickoff June 11th. As I said, I somehow missed that. Was probably busy trying to figure out who won what and counting votes. So she has been, she's been in full campaign mode already for a couple of months. The mayor kicking off her campaign in earnest on Saturday at Rodeo in La Brea. So now it will be full campaign season. I was talking about the billionaire tax. I think this is one of the most important things on the California ballot. And as I mentioned Bernie Sanders weighing in, it really is a national issue too. This is another, just like the restriction of screen time in schools, this is another area where California could be leading the way, because with the broligarchy, the oligarchy, and the sort of outsized influence of billionaires right now, and the sometimes trillionaire, the public is getting fed up. And so I believe that billionaire taxes and different ways to help the ultra wealthy, not even regular wealthy, the billionaires with a B and the trillionaire with a T, of which there was only one, and he's not one anymore. He may be again. But anyway, to help them to do their part, to keep the world the way we all like it, with smooth roads and, people who have enough to eat and folks with health care. So this has become a national issue. As I mentioned, Bernie Sanders was talking about the California billionaire tax. He's in support of it. The folks that are coming out against it are a very predictable bunch. It's a lot of billionaires. I mentioned Sergey Brin, one of the co-founders of Google, but also Michael Moritz from Sequoia Capital, Stripe, Patrick Collision, who's the chief executive of the fintech company Stripe, which, swipes the cards for us. And then executives from DoorDash. I guess I'll be switching to Postmates. the wonderful company, and others, right, that are trying to stop this billionaire tax. In addition, Gavin Newsom has come out against it. He claims that he's going to back a national billionaire tax of some kind. But as of right now, he is against the billionaire's tax. And that doesn't surprise me. He's clearly running for president. And those are the folks with the deepest pockets to contribute to his campaign. They also have a disproportionate amount of political clout right now in this current administration. And I'm sure he wants to compete with the resident and whoever is running on both the Democratic and Republican side for those billionaire dollars. So, let's not be confused by the fact that Gavin Newsom is coming out against the billionaire tax. Sergey Brin, I'm still baffled why you would spend $102 billion to avoid paying $14 billion in taxes. He says it's because he doesn't want California to turn into a socialist state. But paying your fair share so that everybody can have health care, and then I think like 10% of it also goes for food assistance for the truly needy, as we used to call them. That's not even socialism. That's called doing your fair share. It's called the greater good. It's called making sure that California, one of the richest countries in the world, if it was a country, takes care of those least resourced. And when you're among the richest people in the world, it's not socialism to make sure that your state's healthcare system doesn't collapse. Now, I happen to be a democratic socialist. I'm not afraid of socialism. But if you are, the argument that the billionaire's tax equals socialism is pure BS. Under President Bill Clinton, who was a moderate at best, a conservative Republican, the millionaires and billionaires paid way more in taxes than they do now. Way more. Yeah. So Sergey told the New York Times that he fled socialism once. He doesn't want California to be socialist. Well, guess what? Our system for public schools is socialist in the entire United States, as is fire department, as is police department. Why? Because we, the people, the public, pay for that. The state provides schooling to everyone free of charge. And we, the people, pay for it. That's called socialism. If you want to go to a public school, if your house is burning down, the fire department doesn't check to see if you've paid your fire department bill or if you have a fire department credit card. They just put out the doggone fire. That's the greater good. Technically, that's socialism. So Mr. Brin, do you want to defund fire departments? I mean, really? That's a really weak and tired and sad argument for saying I don't want to pay my fair share. Let them starve on the streets. Let the elders go without health care. I'm over here being rich and I like it. Make it make sense. 800-920-1580. That's the number if you want to weigh in. 800-920-1580. Yes, election season is here. I think it's like 81 days till the general election. So we are going to stay on top of that and help you do the same. I'm Dominique DiPrima, and this is KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 connecting you with services and solutions. The midterm elections are upon us. It is voting season once again. Common Cause's motto is fighting for the democracy we deserve. In service of that goal, Common Cause puts its state and national policy expertise, massive network of grassroots supporters, and nonpartisan approach into action to strengthen our democracy against the challenges we face today. They work at every level of government on priorities that impact each of our lives, like defending the right to vote, limiting big money's influence on our elections, holding public officials accountable, and more. Common Cause is a nonpartisan grassroots organization dedicated to upholding the core values of American democracy. They seek to empower all people to make their voices heard in the political process. This election may be the most important one ever. If you'd like to make a donation or volunteer in service to the Constitution, please visit commoncause.org. That's commoncause.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
It does indeed. So the one more thing that I wanted to say about the billionaire tax for today, because you know I'm going to be talking about it. I love it when the national and the local dovetail. I love it when California leads, except when we lead in the wrong direction. One more thing I'll say about that is that these propositions that they're putting on to defeat it, they are kind of tricky. One of them requires audits for new state special taxes, and it would stop state taxes that exempt their revenue from a state spending limit. So they're also going to, Prop 42 would prohibit new taxes on retirement holdings, individually owned assets, and other forms of personal savings. So basically, the billionaires are putting out Prop 41 and Prop 42 to protect their money and to stop the greater good from benefiting from their money. So, let's be clear about what that is. I think those are easy no's on 41 and 42. It will also bar retroactive taxes on past earnings. Give us our money. Give us all our money. We want all our money. You can't touch our money. We want to tax you, the poor, the middle class, the working class, but not the very rich. All righty, let's go to Paul calling us from LA. Good morning, Paul. Paul, are you with me? Okay, maybe we're having technical difficulties, or maybe Paul is. Not sure. Let's go to Jeanette calling us from Inglewood. Good morning, Jeanette.
Good morning, Dominique. Thank you for taking my call. I have a question. Since Nithya Raman, I think I'm saying that right, has been campaigning since June, has she campaigned anywhere in the black community?
I have not seen that, but I understand that she has requested to do a tour of black churches. So, as you know, she canceled on this show after saying that she did not have time, but apparently she does have time for the black churches. So I will look out for that.
Okay, well, speaking of the fact that she didn't come by to see us, and I'm saying KBLA is us, had she come, she would have known about what's going on over there in that area. And if she wanted to really, show that she's a person for, a mayor for the people, then she would have been able to see what's happening over there and said something. And that could have been a part of her campaign to say, oh, I see what's going on, and I'm going to make sure that this work gets completed.
Would I become mayor? I understand. I mean, it's not her district, to be fair.
Right.
She has her own district, and that ain't it. But she could have done it as part of a campaign move. I think is what you're saying.
About.
When I become mayor, I will. Yeah. Yeah. She could have.
Yeah. So she's missing a lot of opportunities. But I really want to say this, Dominique. I hope that you continue to say that she was too busy to come to the black area. And see how she goes to other areas
Yeah.
Because as you have been saying, it looks like they're trying to say and show that they can become elected without the black vote. But we're going to make sure that that's not true.
Yes, indeed. Well, you don't miss much, Jeanette. And apparently, it's hard to stay on top of your district and also campaign because, typically, often, when folks run, they do miss their regular meetings. And so, we have to take a look at how folks are holding up. I think that that's worth looking at too. Are you doing your job? You've been campaigning since June. Does that mean you've been neglecting your job, or are you just able to hold two things down at once? And it also begs the question: if you're mayor of the city, you can't sort of put the city on hold and go campaign, right? You can't. There's 4 million people. You've got Boyle Heights going down, the cleanup over there. We're still trying to clean up from the fires. You've got, the economy, which is suffering under the current resident of the White House. All these things you're trying to counteract, and all these things you're trying to build. You're still working on the houseless. And, of course, Jeanette, you saw the story where even the LA Times, which loves to bash the mayor, reported that the initial reports about the rise in homelessness were exaggerated because of the way they count, and creating the illusion of a much bigger rise in homelessness than actually happened. So all of these things are going on. She cannot pivot and just focus only on campaigning. So I think, in a way, it gives an advantage to the person who can.
Exactly. But I hope you keep on talking about her not coming down there, though.
Yes, ma'am. Well, if I don't, you will. The other thing to note is that, it is the system. It's the way the election system is set up. I wish that we had public campaign financing and very, very strict limits about how long these campaigns would go so that people could focus more on governance. And traditionally, we say the incumbent has an advantage because they're in office, so they can show themselves in action. But I don't think it's just that. We also have to look at what they have done over their course of their lives and careers. And what is their voting record for the past 4 years during the term of the mayor, which is what these folks here in LA are running for. How have they voted? How have they showed up or not showed up for the past 4 years? And then you can look at the entire course of a career and make your decision. There's some new polling out that seems to show good news for Mayor Bass. I'll share that with you a little later. But it seems to show good news, although it is still a very tight race. But it's also a reminder you can't believe everything you see on social media, where there are lots of bots and, some endorsements. I get it, but I do feel like some progressives are deluding themselves or delusional. And, of course, we'll talk about that as well. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in on anything. Wealth Building Wednesday is next after news, traffic, and sports, only right here.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. South Carolina's Joint Base Charleston has been renamed Joint Base Lindsey Graham in honor of the late U.S. Senator. Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent shared a few words.
From today forward, these planes will have Joint Base Graham on their tail.
Leaders praised Graham's decades of public service during a dedication ceremony on Monday. Former NFL star and broadcaster Marcellus Wiley will not face criminal charges in a Florida domestic violence case. Prosecutors cited a lack of corroborating evidence, though Wiley's divorce and custody dispute with his estranged wife remains ongoing in California. And former President Barack Obama is launching a new Audible podcast called A Great Book with Barack Obama. The series will spotlight 6 books that helped shape his worldview, featuring works from celebrated authors including Toni Morrison and James Baldwin. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers had a dramatic win Tuesday night. They beat Kansas City 5-4 in 10 innings. Max Muncy delivered an RBI single in the 10th to score Shohei Ohtani from second base with the game-winning run. First consecutive wins for the Dodgers since July 30th. The Dodgers are 7-10 since they hung out with Trump at the White House on July 23rd. They're getting a little closer to playing 500 baseball after that controversial visit. South Carolina State is the only HBCU football team listed in the preseason Division I AA Top 25 rankings. South Carolina State, last year's HBCU national champion, is ranked number 24. The Bulldogs are predicted to win the MEAC title again this year. South Carolina State opens the season August 29th against Savannah State. Top 5 teams in the 1AA poll: Montana, Montana State, South Dakota State, Illinois State, and Tarleton State. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. August 5, 2026. Dear LA City Council President Marquise Harris Dawson, on behalf of a coalition of businesses and residents that constitute the Crenshaw Corridor community, we write to request that a concrete timeline and resources for fully completing Destination Crenshaw within a year be developed and announced. A year is the outside time it should take, and we hope and expect that it can be finished considerably sooner. We also request the immediate establishment of a business interruption relief fund for the merchants, entrepreneurs, churches, and property owners who have borne the disproportionate economic burden of the prolonged delays associated with the Destination Crenshaw project, and a resident relief fund for the residents of the corridor who have been most adversely affected by the prolonged construction and delays associated with this unfinished development. Destination Crenshaw was presented to this community as a transformational investment in Black culture, Black commerce, and the future of South Los Angeles. It has now been 6 years since the project broke ground and over 2 years since the promised completion date. Construction has stalled with no apparent end date in sight. The Crenshaw Corridor community embraced the vision of Destination Crenshaw, but the obstruction from the delayed construction has caused prolonged health and safety hazards, uncertainty, reduced customer access, declining revenues, disruptions, and mounting financial hardship. A broad spectrum of the community expressed their frustration over these delays and the impact they have had on the community at a standing room only July 30th town hall at Bethesda Temple Church, widely covered by the media including ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. The burden of these unexplained delays should not rest on the shoulders of the Crenshaw Corridor community, which acted in good faith and supported this historic project. If the city fails to provide a complete and substantive response to this correspondence within 30 days of the date of this letter, the Crenshaw Corridor community reserves its right to pursue all of its rights and remedies. Sincerely, the Crenshaw Corridor community. To read the complete letter detailing all of our demands, go to our website at kbla1580.com. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
Damn. What? Hey, let's get to that money, 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 let's get to that let's get to that money, 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 let's get to that Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center Black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling Black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
It absolutely is, and I'm so happy to have a little something different for you on this Wealth Building Wednesday. We like to shine a spotlight on all different kinds of businesses and opportunities for business. Today we are spotlighting a dance teacher, a spreader of the culture, a provider of joy. Cali Cara, welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So I know that your business, if you will,
Yes.
is line dancing. But tell me a little bit about yourself. I didn't get too much info on you. Are you a professional dancer? Like, how did you come to this line of work?
Sure. Well, first of all, good morning, Ms. Dominique. Good morning, everybody. My name is Cali. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I'm not a professional, but all my life I love to dance. And I recently lost over 100 pounds, and that was with hard work and heavy on my mental. I worked a lot on my mental health, and I realized I really like to line dance. And so I figured, why not only teach easy, beginner-friendly dances, but also incorporate to help people's mental health. So that's kind of how I came up with it. The name of the business is Rhythm and Release, because it takes a little rhythm to learn to dance. But also a release. I'm hoping people can come to my class